Hey guys, Coach Anna here. Welcome to our Nutrition Challenge Kickoff Seminar. I am so excited to help you guys crush those goals over these next 28 days. Really dial in that nutrition and just have a lot of fun doing all of that as well. I have a couple questions for you guys I want you to think about. Have you ever done a nutrition challenge or a weight loss or diet before? Did you lose weight during that challenge or during that diet? And then did you gain it back, plus maybe some more? We know that this is a struggle for so many people. In fact, 2/3 of people who do a diet or challenge will gain the weight right back, plus more. Don't worry, we will not let this happen to you. This nutrition challenge is a great way to kickstart your health and wellness goals. But after the challenge, we do also offer individualized nutrition coaching to keep you on track with that continued support and accountability so you don't become part of that statistic. Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. We focus on a simple habit-based approach, focusing on one step at a time. We partnered with HSN because I truly believe habit-based coaching is where the results come from, and then that's how they remain. We use a holistic approach to help you reach those goals. We're here to support you in all aspects of your life, not just nutrition and fitness. We focus on stress, sleep, exercise, support system, and that overall lifestyle. We have some objectives of the challenge. So, objective of the kickoff seminar are to help you understand how to set yourself up for success during the nutrition challenge, find out what you need to start with first, and learn how to utilize the tools you have to support you on your journey. To start off, we're going to conduct a quick self-assessment. You'll have a link to this as well, or to our workbook, so check that out too. This follows right along. Think about and answer these questions. What does success look like to you? What worked well for you in the past? What do you struggle with the most? And what has stopped you from seeing those results in the past? Take a couple minutes, pause this, write them down, figure them out, think about them, really try and dig deep into this. Little self-assessment really goes a long way. All right, let's talk goal setting. We know they need to be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. I know that you've already started setting your goals during our initial challenge meeting. Yay, with me. When setting goals, we want to make sure they're smart. It's also important to think about the why they're important to you. Your goal may be to lose some weight, to fit into a specific clothing item again, wear a swimsuit to the pool, but why is that important? Will it make you happier? Will it make you more confident? The why behind a goal is so important to determine and keep in mind both during the challenge and on that overall health and wellness journey. Let's talk a little bit about basics of healthy habits. So, my favorite one, most important one is only focus on one thing at a time. Nail that one thing, then add something else to your plate. Layer in your new habit into something that you already do. Instead of taking things away, try to add something. Instead of taking away all sugar or all of XYZ food, try adding in veggies to lunch and dinner. A lot of stuff is out there. There's going to be a lot of info coming to you. A few things we just want to kind of come back to, some things we want to remember. We want to go for real whole foods over anything processed or any other food products. A closet, pantry, fridge clean out is going to really help us set up for success. We want to focus on progress over perfection. We know you're not going to be perfect. It's day one of that nutrition challenge. Getting better each day is the goal. We want to look at those food labels. Who thinks peanut butter has protein in it? Yeah, mostly fat. Take a look at the protein, carb, fat content. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. Also, look at that added sugar content. That's really important. The other one is follow that plate method, which we are going to talk about in a second. Half of that plate veggies, a quarter of it that lean protein, and then the other quarter that starchy carb. Adding in a little bit of fat, maybe a thumb's amount, or having a little bit more of a fatty protein to get that fat macronutrient in. So we're going to talk more about that here in a minute, but just try to remember those basics, especially when you get confused or bogged down with everything going on. All right, so our daily habits, we focus on 4 pillars: nutrition, daily movement, sleep, and stress. Nutrition is, of course, the foundation. There will be a nutrition focus each week. The idea is that we are layering each nutrition focus on top of each other. Other than nutrition, the other 3 pillars are 30 minutes of daily movement. That could be coming to the gym, that could be taking an extra walk, anything you're doing for that 30 minutes of daily movement, yoga, anything at all. 7 hours of sleep, 7+ hours of sleep. We know how important sleep is. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Aiming for those 7 hours is that sweet spot. Sometimes we get a little bit more, sometimes we get a little bit less. It's kind of averaging that throughout the week. 10 minutes of stress management. This might be going for a walk, taking time to yourself, maybe meditating, yoga, something. Taking those 10 minutes to work on managing that stress. Every day in the HS app, you will see these 4 pillars to mark off for your habits. Yay. HSN principle number 1, add more whole foods into your diet. Following that principle of adding instead of taking away, we want to opt for that whole food option versus those processed foods. To start building your foundation, here are our HSN principles that have helped a million people, not really a million people, take control of their health one habit at a time. Add more whole foods into your diet. The plate method is one of the easiest and most effective ways for improving your diet and eating balanced meals of that high quality foods. Plate method is a great rule of thumb when eating out or even eating at home, whipping up a quick meal, things like that. Here's how you do it. Half of your plate, non-starchy vegetables. That's there on the left. A quarter of that plate, that lean protein. A quarter of your plate, that starchy carb. Then add in a healthy plant-based source of fat. The fat recommendation varies based on fat from that protein from that meat. So if it's a fattier meat, we're not going to add in a whole lot of that extra healthy plant-based fat. Here's some pro tips for eating your plate. How do we eat elephant? 1 bite at a time. Eat those non-starchy veggies first, then your protein, then lastly, eat your starch. Feel about how hungry you are. Tap into those hunger cues. Sit for a minute maybe. If you're still hungry, go back for those veggies first. If you can get another half a plate in, great. If not, that's okay. You're starting with the most important. Those veggies are the hardest ones to get. Let's talk about HSN principle number 2. Focus on balance. We want to balance protein, carbs, and fats. When we say balance, we mean every meal and snack contain one of those protein, carb, and fat. Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of those macronutrients will keep you fuller much longer. We'll talk about these macros more in depth after the third or in the next slide here. Let's start with protein. Protein provides us with important amino acids, which are key to building muscle and recovery. Not to mention, protein helps us stay full and feel more satisfied. When it comes to protein sources, we want to focus on including lean proteins with your meals, such as chicken breast, turkey, egg whites, or fish, but be aware of high-fat protein sources that can provide more than 5 grams of fat per ounce of protein. For example, ribeye chicken wings. On average, protein provides about 4 calories per gram and should compose about 30% of your daily calorie intake. Please note that it will vary person to person, smaller person, bigger person, gentleman versus a female, different things like that. Here is the food options guide section for protein sources. You will find this in your challenge handbook. You will find this in the app. I think you got an email with it as well. You can print this out if you need, or if you need me to print it out, just let me know. These protein sources are categorized by fat content, from lean being green, and then moderate being yellow, and then fatty being red. And you can see 0 to 2 grams per ounce, 3 to 4, and then that 5 plus over there. Let's talk carbohydrates. This is the macronutrient that tends to get the worst rep. Many foods fit under that carbohydrate umbrella. For instance, fruit, sugar, bread, pasta, grains, and even some starchy veggies like sweet potato, butternut, squash. Carbohydrates break down into glucose, which is your body's preferred source of fuel. Our bodies require those carbs daily to fuel our brain. Carbohydrates, just like protein, provides 4 calories per gram. Where's 4? 4. You should aim for 30 to 40% of your daily caloric intake, so how many calories you're eating in a day, to be comprised of those carbohydrates. Once again, this will vary based on individual carbohydrate needs, how active you are, the type of size of person you are, different things like that. Here is, wrong button. Here is the starchy carbs. Carbs will generally fall into 2 different categories. We have the starchy carbs that you see here, and then non-starchy or volume carbs. It's important to understand the difference between the two when building a balanced meal. These starchy carbs, that's that quarter of the plate, that's our carb source here. We have 3 different options, that lower glycemic, moderate glycemic, and then higher glycemic. We want to always choose that low, maybe moderate, and then add in those high only like when we absolutely need those things. They're still whole food, so still a better option than anything processed, but we want to try and keep it to green and yellow for the most part. Here are some of the volume or non-starchy carb sources from our food option guides. As you can see, a ton of different fruits. Vegetables. Take a look through this. There's some of this stuff that I definitely don't eat. There's some of this stuff that I don't like, but then there's some other stuff that I will eat all the time. Pick which ones you like. Don't try to force yourself to eat new stuff, but if you're willing to try, not a bad idea. Let's talk fats. Fats, contrary to popular belief, fat does not make you fat. Fat actually helps you stay fuller longer and absorb important fat-soluble vitamins. Fat is the most caloric dense of the 3 macronutrients, weighing in at 4 calories per gram of fat compared to 4 calories with carbs and protein. So we're going from 4 and now fats are 9. So a little more than half, or a little more than double. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. We also want to choose that plant-based sources of fat, such as avocado or olive oil. Aim for fats to be about 30 to 40% of that daily intake, and then that individual fat need may vary based on different people and their activity level. Here is the healthy fat sources from the food options guide. We have a bunch of nuts, a bunch of oils, seeds, different things like that. Try to go for these first before opting for that fattier meat or anything else we have going on. All right. HSM principle number 3. We're going to limit the amount of added sugar you consume daily. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 tablespoons of sugar for women and 9 tablespoons for men. The average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's 46 teaspoons per day. Recommended 6 to 9. Most people are doing 46. This isn't surprising. Sugar is super addicting and it feels hidden in almost every single food product you find in a package. A great way to limit your added sugar is to eat mostly whole foods with that balance of that good macronutrients. Check your ketchup, your barbecue sauce, check it all. Look at those nutrition labels. You will be so surprised where they hide sugar high fructose corn syrup, where they add cane sugar, different things like that. Look at those nutrition labels. Let's talk about our first challenge pillar, sleep. How many of you track your sleep? The recommended amount of sleep for adults is 7 to 8 hours. Sleep is directly correlated to your body's ability to regulate hormone levels, blood sugar, recover, especially from our workouts, and feel your absolute best. Specifically related to performance, research shows that athletes may need additional hours for proper recovery. Sleep is vital for hormone regulation and building muscle. When we don't sleep enough, hormone regulation is all out of whack. This will inhibit our ability to lose weight, perform our best, and build muscle. 35% of adults report sleeping less than 7 hours of sleep per night. So, how will you get those 7 hours of sleep during these next 28 days? Let's talk about your nighttime routine. What does that look like? Do you have a certain few tasks you do, or is it just like TV off, time to go to bed? I encourage you to create a schedule and a routine so that you aren't sucked in by that series on television. We've all been there. Yellowstone is awesome. So you have kind of a wind down routine that's preparing you best for that great good night's sleep, that 7 hours of solid sleep. Let's talk about box breathing. So, do you struggle falling or staying asleep at night? Box breathing is a great technique that's been shown to calm that central nervous system and your mind to help you go back to sleep. Here's how it works. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold for 4 seconds. We're going to try it together. So we're going to breathe in for 4. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Exhale. The idea is that you keep doing it over and over again until you fall back to sleep. This is a great technique to use when you find yourself a little bit worked up. Maybe it's when you're falling asleep and your mind's racing. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night to pee and you can't quite get back to sleep. Taking some time, focusing on that breath, and maybe shortening the seconds if you need, if 4 is too long. Focusing on that breath, letting everything calm back down, coming back to that neutral, relaxed state so you can get back to sleep, get those 7 hours that we all need. Let's talk second challenge pillar, stress. When you have chronic stress, your body stays alert even though there is no danger. Over time, this puts you at risk for health problems, including high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression and anxiety, skin problems such as acne or eczema, and if you're a lady, even those menstrual problems. What can you do? Find those productive ways to manage your stress. Maybe it's taking an extra day off of work, taking some time to yourself, enjoying the beautiful nature we have all around us. Anything like that, that's your sign to find those productive ways to manage your stress. Phoning a friend, anything goes. The other challenge pillar we're going to talk about is exercise. So when we say exercise, we don't mean spending hours and hours in the gym every single day. Yes, we want to include that higher intensity exercise and that strength training 3 to 4 days a week, but what happens those other days of the week? Exercise has a ton of benefits related to overall health, blood sugar control, and disease prevention. If you find yourself sitting at a desk or just sitting most of the day, one great habit to get into would be to go for about a 15-minute walk after lunch and dinner. Not only will this help with digestion, it will also help with that blood sugar regulation. Let's talk habits. Change your habits, change your life. The habits for this challenge are meant to be easy so that you're able to feel successful and build that solid foundation. These habits are just the beginning. if you decide to continue on with ongoing coaching, we'll dial in that details for you and your lifestyle a little more customized. Let's not forget to think about non-scale victories as you're staying consistent with these healthy habits. Better mood, increased energy, inches, increased confidence, increased strength, improved health, improved relationships, and even better sleep. Don't forget to share these with us every single Friday in the group. We call it Bright Spot Friday. We'll say, hey, share your bright spot for the week. It could be any of these and it could be anything else. Love sharing those bright spots. Really celebrating our wins really helps us give that dopamine hit and to keep going with our goals. We're going to use the app for tracking our habits. We know consistency is the driver of results. You're going to check off your habits each day, engage in the group, and stay consistent with those habits. Under your things to do, you will see a habit that says attend or watch the Kickoff seminar. We're going to click on that habit and click that blue complete button once you see it, if you've watched this or once you've attended our in-person seminar. Once you click that, you'll get a thumbs up for starting a streak. You can click out of the streak celebration, but stay on that page because we're going to talk about compliance. At the top right, you're going to see the 4 dots. When you click on that, you're going to open up a compliance tracker. Every day you complete your habit under things to do, you'll get a check mark on your calendar and we'll be able to see that completion rate for each week. We should aim to get that 80% completion rate with all of those habits. Engaging in the group. So the most successful clients are engaged. They share pictures, recipes in the group. Want to win those prizes? Engage in the group and stay consistent with your habits. We know that the most consistent clients are those who have a great support system. In this challenge, we're all going to support each other. When you open the app, you're going to see a group chat titled 28-Day Challenge Group Chat. This is where I want you to ask your questions, share your food, stay motivated. We're going to take a couple minutes. You can pause this right now to type one thing you hope to get out of this challenge and share it with the group. Yay. So we're going to talk about some pro tips for the lovely app. Move it to your home screen so it's there. Set those notifications to on. Create a habit to help you remember to watch those videos, engage in the group, and check off those daily habits. There's so many features to help you on your journey, such as videos, habit tracking, and messaging. But the reason is to give you a safe place. This is just the beginning of your journey, and we know this is a marathon, not a sprint. This app is to provide you with a place to stay intentional about your goals and to stay close to that why. This app is to help you celebrate those small victories that will lead you to find that long-term success. With this being said, the best thing we can do is commit ourselves to visiting this safe place, the app, and utilizing those resources every single day. Let's habit stack. When will you use the app? Habit stacking is when you take a habit that you do every day without fail and stack a new habit on top of it to increase the success rate of that new habit. It works best with a built-in reward. This is just an example. As soon as I sit on the couch to watch TV, I'm going to open the HSN app, mark off my habits, watch my videos, and message in the group chat. Then I'm going to turn the TV and watch my favorite show or movie. What is the anchor habit here? It's sitting down, watching that TV. What is the new habit? Checking off those things in the app. And then what is the reward? My favorite TV show. Now it's your turn. I want you to take a couple minutes, think about this, find a space, and write down your habit tracking statement. After XYZ happens, I will mark off my habits in the app, watch the video, and respond in the group chat. Then I will, whatever that reward is to do. Take a couple minutes, write it down so you have it close to your heart. You have it close to whatever you're doing, and you know you're going to mark off those habits. Awesome. Let's talk about some nutrition frequently asked questions. Do I have to weigh or log my food? No. You do not. There's no need to buy a food scale, weigh out portions when you have a plate or even your hands. You can use the hand portion size guide or plate method to ensure that your portion sizes are on track. Let's talk the hand portion guide real quick. So, 2 fists, where's my hand, of non starchy vegetables, those volume carbs. You want to do 1 to 2 palms, boom, of protein, a half to 1 hand cup, boom, where am I, of those starchy carbs, and 1 to 2 thumbs of fat. This is going to this recommendation is going to vary from person to person, so maybe not be exactly what your friend does. That plate method we're going to talk about one more time. Half of that plate vegetables, quarter of that plate protein, quarter of that plate those starchy carbs. Add in that plant-based fat. We have all different goals, but my favorite way to log food is in the app. Just take a picture of it. You'll just add a meal, boom. That way we can see it. We can hold you accountable. And if you have any questions, we know, oh yeah, that's what that is. Perfect. Maybe switch it for this. You'll have a healthier, balanced meal. Awesome. Second question, do I have to eat the starchy carbs? Aren't carbs bad for you? So, contrary to popular belief, carbs are not bad for you, but you want to choose those whole food sources of carbohydrates and stick with those lower glycemic options. Low glycemic, lower sugar, higher fiber. And remember, eating those starchy carbs last. Getting in those veggies, getting in that protein is the most important thing. Can I eat a sandwich? Yes. If you love having a sandwich for lunch occasionally, then have it. Just make it a healthy part of your balanced meal. Try using whole grain or sprouted wheat bread. Use that whole grain sandwich flatbread, or even make it open faced. Next, you want to add that lean protein and then load up on that veggies. You could top it off with some avocado or hummus for that fat, and you can always utilize that plate method to incorporate favorite recipes and foods. Are there any snack bars that I can have? Yes, of course. We have the Bear Bells bars here at the gym. When choosing a snack bar, you want to make sure that it's balanced. Many of them are marketed to be healthy or have limited ingredients, but they're super high in carbs and really low in protein. You want to make sure you're reading those labels. We love the Bear Bells bars we have here, sweetened with a little bit of sucralose, so just a little bit of added sugar, but the protein and the fat content and the carbs are on point. We also like RX bars and RX Kids bars. Low sugar kind bars and the perfect and perfect mini bars are also really good options that you can find various stores around. Last but not least, I don't love veggies. What do? This isn't last, but next. So I've heard this so many times, and maybe you feel this way, you don't love veggies. I'm going to challenge you, what if you just haven't found the way that you like to eat them? Roasting your veggies for a nice crunch rather than those mushy vegetables, adding a good seasoning for flavor you can be excited for, and even finding ways to sneak them into recipes and even smoothies is an easy way to get more veggies in your day. My favorite life hack is putting broccoli and cauliflower in my smoothie with my banana and my strawberry and my yogurt and all of that fun stuff. So I get good protein, I get really good veggies, and I get that whole foods with those fruits. All right, can I still eat my favorite foods? This is a question I get a lot. And yes, we want to help you find a realistic and sustainable plan to help you reach your long-term goals. This means continuing to eat your favorite foods rather than restricting yourself. Remember, we want to add versus taking away. Think about that plate method. Try to consider how your favorite foods fit into that balanced breakdown. If you want to have spaghetti night, great. Fill a quarter of that plate with your pasta, a quarter of that plate with some meatballs, or maybe it's already in the sauce, and then still aim to fill half of that plate with those non-starchy vegetables, or have a colorful side salad to help fill you up. If you're thinking more about ice cream or other sweet treats, the answer is still yes. Have them, but have them mindfully. Keep the proper portion sizes, enjoy the treat, and then move on. Don't beat yourself up about it. Make it special. Sit down, enjoy it, maybe with a cup of decaf coffee or whatever it is during the day. Make it special, enjoy it, and then just move on. Don't make it the worst thing you've ever done. Guilt does not help. So, last question. What happens after the challenge? I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now, continuing to focus on what's manageable after the challenge. And I'm asking, where do you see yourself? I want you to think about it for a minute. Now we're going to flip the script a little bit. I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now, taking a step back from focusing on your goals. How does that future different from the first? So 6 months focusing on our goals, accomplishing stuff, and then the other side is 6 months where we stop doing all of that. Think about it for a couple minutes. Pause this, maybe write it down if you need to. Let's talk about the fun stuff, prizes. Woo! You will have a chance to win TYR shoes, massages, supplement recovery pack, personal training sessions, and even Costa sunglasses. We were going to draw weekly winners. There will be a total of 4, and we're going to have a lot of fun with those prizes. This is how you get those points. So we know clients who are engaged are the most successful. Participation is key, so be sure to take advantage of everything we're providing you during this challenge. Everything included has been selected to help you set up for long-term success. Remember, you need to hear things 8 to 10 times before you take action on it. To be eligible to enter the challenge weekly raffles, you need to be completing those weekly goals, doing that self-assessment, which I linked down here, filling out the weekly review form. That link will be shared weekly in the group chat, and it will also be email or messaged to you separately within the app. Complete the weekly mini challenges, engage in the group chat, and we're going to draw a winner every week for a prize and announce the winner in the group chat, post it on social media, do all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for joining us for the Nutrition Challenge Kickoff Seminar. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can message me right there in the app. Any other questions? Please let me know, and I'm so excited to help you over these next 28 days. Yay, let's get them done.